Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. It's your brother Rabbi Knapp coming out with a lesson, Lord's will. It's edifying. So, let me just actually, I probably should have checked my, check my sound display. All right. I was watching a bunch of things on the internet today. Tucker Carlson. Let's see what pops up with him. I don't know why this is Tucker Carlson. I ain't even follow him. Let's follow him. Yeah, so it says, is it possible to absolutely loathe Tucker Carlson and enjoy the fuck out of watching him destroy Ted Cruz at the same time asking for a friend? Let's see what he says here.
Yeah, how could you not know that? How many people live in Iran, by the way? I don't know.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
The population. At all?
He don't know it. He's checking it, showing you the hypocrisy of these devils, man. He's an idiot. He's just a damn fool. Just because he got a suit and tie, it don't mean nothing, man. He's a fool.
No, I don't know the population. You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple? How many people live in Iran? 92 million. Okay.
He knows there's 92 million. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is Esau. Okay? This is Esau. Let me grab this. This was, honestly, I listened to it. It was a great interview. I thought Tucker Carlson knows how to do an interview. I learned a lot from seeing, this is how you want to, you got to ask, it's the simple things there, man. They cut you, man. Okay? When your leader is a child. There's Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 16. That's right. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child and thy princes eat in the morning. Okay, so yeah, woe unto thee, man. Woe means death and destruction, if you didn't know. Because if a child is ruling, he's not going to rule properly. Okay, there's a certain amount, there's a guide. First of all, there's a guideline that you have to rule by in order for your kingdom to be successful. And no one has been able to do that. Okay, no one has been able to keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. Israel couldn't do it, so it makes you think the Esau's going to be able to do it. Okay, he can't. Okay, I don't know why I went over here. Let me grab this in the book of Isaiah chapter 3. In verse 4, and I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them, and the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. And that's what's going on with Esau, man. He's the base, he's the child going up against the ancient, okay? In this case, the ancient would be the old man. But just like Job said in Job the 30th chapter, he told, what did he say? Job 30:1, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision. And that's what's going on. Whose fathers I would have disdained to set with the dogs of my flock. He wouldn't even be able to rule over Job's dogs. But yet he's over here making major decisions on one of the highest levels. This is foolishness. Okay? Shouldn't be in the position that he's in. And he shows you this. He's been showed you this. Proverbs 28, verse 16. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor. But he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. Yeah, that's what he is, a great oppressor. He knows how to oppress. That's the only thing he can do. Because the Lord gave him the world. Okay, according to Job 9. And 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, which is Esau, according to Malachi 1:4. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherewith who is he? If it's not the so-called white man, who else could it be if it's not him? Psalms 24:1, a psalm of David. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. So the earth belongs to the Lord. Okay? So he's the one who gave this devil the power that he has. Okay, when you go to the book of Daniel, chapter 4, in verse 17, I know I'm all over the place. I want to get into it, but I also want to make sure I'm learning, okay? Because this is how, you got to let the precepts come out if you got them. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. So he set it up Esau, okay? He's the base man, okay? Meaning he's the lowest form of man that's created, and he's ruling over you. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 4. It says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And that's his son. Okay, no one can rule like Yahweh Shah can. Okay, even if they put any Israelite, if you ain't got the new body, you ain't going to have a chance. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 14. I'll start at 13. The Lord standeth up to plead and standeth to judge the people. The Lord will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people and the princes thereof, for ye have eaten up the vineyard. The spoil of the poor is in your houses. What mean ye that ye beat my people to pieces and grind the faces of the poor, saith the Lord God of hosts? So you gonna get judged for that. The vineyard's talking about Israel, man. The spoil of the poor is in your houses. All right, we've been robbed. We're the spoil. We're the prey. Okay, Book of Nahum 3:1 tells you that the prey departeth not. It's a lock. Woe to the bloody city, which is America, is all full of lies and robbery, and the prey departeth not, which is you Israelites. Y'all are still here. Okay? So that's why the Lord sent Esau to rule over you.
Yeah, how could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's
Don't sit around memorizing population tables, but you're willing to commit war with a nation you don't even know the number or the size. You don't know. You have zero logistics, but you're willing to make these decisions. And when you go further into Tucker Carlson, he goes into the Nordstrom pipeline. Everyone knows that America has something to do with it, but he denied it, of course. But he voted for the dismantling of it. So it just happened to be that he claimed that Ted Cruz claimed that Ukraine did it on their own will. Bullshit.
kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant?
Calling for the overthrow of a government, and he's a child.
Whether it's,
Well, because-
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million, why is
because
that
if you
relevant?
Why does it matter that there's 80, 90? When you make a war, the scriptures tell you all these things. Okay, I can't think of it. Sufficient to finish. Okay. Let me grab this in the KJV, Luke 14:28. Let's just go there. Why does it matter why we have, how many people are there? And blah, blah. Are you fucking dumb? You making a war, you dumbass? Luke 14 and I'll start at the top. Not the top, but Luke 14:25. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Let's put that in red letters so we know what's going on here. This is Yahweh Shai. All right. And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost whether he hath sufficient to finish it? Lest happily after he had laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king, this is the point, going to war against another king, sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? Or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassage and desireth conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he have, he cannot be my disciple. So that same thing. A king needs to sit down, okay, and see if he has sufficient enough to fight the battle. 10,000 against 20,000. So these numbers matter is the point that I'm trying to make. Or you're going to be in a position when you want to desire conditions of peace. Okay? And this is why it's important to know the scripture, so you can, they tell you want to learn off the mistakes of your past. Well, here are some people in his past that made the wrong mistake messing with those Persians. About the time came Antiochus with dishonor out of the country of Persia. Okay, for he had entered the city called Persepolis and went about to rob the temple and to hold the city, whereupon the multitude running to defend themselves with their weapons put them to flight. And so it happened, Antiochus being put to flight of the inhabitants returned with shame. If you don't know who Antiochus Epiphanes is, you better get familiar with him, okay? Because they're running the same type of shit, same type of policies against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And Esau, who was Antiochus is an Edomite, he's a Greek, okay? He wanted to go fight Persia because of, I believe it was Judas Maccabees, but he needed that money, but he did it in haste, and he got pretty much put to shame. And the same thing's happening now. He's broke, okay? He's trillions of dollars of debt. He wants to spend more money on all this other dumb shit that he got set up. And he's trying to make wars in order to fit the bill. But he's going to be put to shame over there. When you look at the way he has it organized over there, as a matter of fact, let me see, let's go over here. U.S. bases around Tehran. Look at this shit. Look how he has it set up over there. Y'all are just a bunch of sacrifices. Okay? You just a bunch of sacrifices. He already, what can you do with the missiles that they're doing? They're going through the Iron Dome. You think y'all are protected where you're at? What's this say? June 17th, 2 days ago. Let's see if they speak. No, aerospace commander in reaction to Trump's threats. Americans have at least 10 military bases in regions surrounding Iran, housing around 50,000 troops. This means they're sitting inside a glass room. Yeah, they're sitting ducks. They're sitting ducks, man. Okay? They're sitting ducks, man. You're going to be a great... They'll sacrifice you, too. They ain't worried about y'all, man. Look what's going on with Israel and Tel Aviv, man. They're getting bombed, and what are they doing about that? They don't care. These militaries don't care about their citizens, man. When they go to war, they're going to look at babies. Okay? No one's safe from the wrath, man, when your government go to war. This is going to happen here. If this place gets, they ain't going to do, they can't protect you. Okay? And look at their cities. This place is ultimately going to look like this. Okay? Outside in my mind, 'cause sometimes I look in her eyes, and that's where I find a glimpse of us. When you're... Look at them, man. They happy. They can't wait. This is 10 hours. Oh, man. Yup. Look at that. 9,000 missiles hit, 0 intercepted. Tel Aviv erased. Supreme Leader MVP. Allah sweeps 10-0. You know, it's not looking good, man. Wow, man. Wait until Babylon get hit, man. Everywhere, man. And they recording it like it's fun, like it's the 4th of July or something. You know, this is the part. This is what I'm saying. Okay.
You don't know anything about the country.
I didn't say I don't know anything about.
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and
What percent?
predominantly Shia. Okay, this is
no,
cute.
it's not
Okay.
even.
He don't know a damn thing, man. Foolishness. Okay. You know, and these scriptures speak about Esau, man. Psalms 14:1. They don't read the scriptures. To the chief musician, a psalm of David, the fool have said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. So there's no good, man.
You don't know anything about Iran, so
Okay,
actually the
I am
country.
not the Tucker Carlson
No, but
expert on Iran.
You're a
who
senator
says,
who's calling for the
you're one who
overthrow of the
claims-
government.
You're the one who-
First of all, he calls it Iran. You know, Esau, this is an Edomite, man. Calls it Iran. He calls it Iran. They have no respect for anybody else. That's pride. Okay, and this is what's going to get his ass destroyed. Okay, pride goes before destruction. You underestimate your enemy, you're going to be destroyed, man. And he's going to get everybody else involved in this. Proverbs 16:18, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before fall. And this is it's a proud statement not to answer something such a simple question, man. Now this could be all a show, but this is Esau. He's always been like that with his gator boots. He's a damn fool. A fool, man.
You don't know anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump.
No,
You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out
I'm
if it was a
saying
good
you
idea to
don't
kill
believe-
General Soleimani, and you said
don't
it was bad.
Look at him. He got him against the ropes, man. You know saying they're gonna kill General Trump. They been said that a long time ago. So it doesn't matter what Tucker Carlson said. Okay? They already said that. You killed their general. Of course they're gonna say something to retaliate. That they said they vowed to retaliate. And you've been killing more people too. As a matter of fact, let me see. Iran scientist bombed. Let's see who this guy was. Okay. This is the house of Ahmad Raza Zolfagari, professor of nuclear sciences in Behesed University in Tehran. He is one of the 6 top Iranian nuclear scientists eliminated by the Israeli Air Force during Operation Rising Lion. How the fuck are they hitting key targets like that, man? Esau he's telling you, man. It's crazy. All this tech, all this cell phone, you don't think he's watching you? Nobody's safe from Esau, man. All right? He got it all. He'll blow up your phone, man. He'll blow up your TV. If you ain't got the Lord, you're done. Okay, I mean, it's just, you ain't showing nothing, man. Okay, that's clearly where he got bombed at, man. And they're saying 6 people. Let me see. Israel's targeting Iran's intellectuals. Mahid Tajan Jari, a professor and prominent figure in the field of AI and programming in Iran, was killed in an Israeli strike on a building in Tehran. How did he know he was in there? The Zionist regime murdered Professor Majid. So they getting put to death, man.
The Iranians don't want a war with the United States. They've been trying to avoid a war with the United States. They've gone to great lengths to communicate to us that they don't want a war. And of course, we don't want a war with them either. And I think what's going on here, as I alluded to before, is I think the Israelis would like to get us into a war with Iran. And I don't think the Israelis would mind it at all if they got into a war with Hezbollah. And in fact, in the early months of the war, there was lots of evidence, at least in the newspapers, that the United States was telling the Israelis that they could not start a war with Hezbollah because there was evidence the Israelis actually wanted to go to war with Hezbollah. They wanted to deal with that problem militarily. As you well know, the Israelis believe in big stick diplomacy. They believe that they can beat other groups or other countries over the head with a big stick and get their way. It hardly ever works, but that's their sort of modus operandi. And I think they wanted to pick a fight for a number of months there with Hezbollah. I think the Israeli view deep down is that the bigger the war is, the greater the opportunity for ethnic cleansing, not just in Gaza, but in the West Bank as well. And as you know, that's their ultimate objective, to cleanse the Palestinians out of both of those two pieces of real estate.
Hey, Esau said it well, man. It's better Esau say he knows the plan. Yeah, we can see it, but hey, man, ultimately he got a short time to rule. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in their power of their hand. And we just saw that the Lord gave them the power to do that. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. That's what he does, man. Okay? That's exactly what he does, man. He covets fields and takes them away. All right. Let's keep going.
Believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe
we're
that,
carrying out military strikes today.
you said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here, because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
We're not
at all.
bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
This is
Israel.
high stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay.
You've been at war. You've been at war. And not because you wanted to. It's ultimately because the Heavenly Father said you were going to do it. Because the will of the Lord is going to be played out. Okay? Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. We're already in the third woe. Okay? It's been started. I don't know the exact date, but it just hasn't got fully hot yet. Okay? But we're in that time where these wars are kicking off. Okay. As a matter of fact, I saw something else. So that was what was popping off. I saw that. What else did I see? Redacted had a pretty good show today. They were talking about how this is similar to the time of Iraq, weapons of mass destruction. You hear that a lot, but a lot of people are young. They don't really, it's good to go into these things. People don't hear about these things. Never forget that Bush, the CIA, and Netanyahu told the American people the lie that were 100% weapons of mass destruction in Iraq as the pretext for regime change and never-ending war. Hundreds of thousands of people died based on a deception that they knew was not true. Same way they're trying to use this deception to kill hundreds of thousands of people. Just take their
There is no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons.
Wow, so they're running the same play. And this is the same guy that's in this position doing the same shit. So they have exactly what they want, running the same play. Esau is being found out. Okay? These are receipts. When you have the receipts, you can look at the time today and see, okay, this devil hasn't changed. It's the same devil, man. Okay? It's the same thing. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped away a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Let me grab this in Chat GPT. Ecclesiasticus 12:11, meaning, this. Let's see what pops up. It says, I want to see, like one who has polished a mirror. You may think things are clear or clean like a polished mirror, but it has not been completely wiped clean. There's still residue, meaning hidden danger or lingering deceit. So, yeah, you might, just like you wipe away a looking glass, man. He's saying all the residue isn't. That's just like that rust. You might think it looks clean. You don't cleaned up. You don't visibly see any of that rust, but that rust is gonna come back, just like a polished, like one who has polished a mirror. And it summarizes. It says, "Don't be deceived by fake humility. A person's true character might still be hidden, even if they seem changed. Be cautious and discerning." So that's what ChatGPT is saying. Okay. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? Nobody will.
No question whatsoever. And there is no question that once he acquires it, history shifts immediately.
The question is really, how do we ensure that these weapons of destruction, these missiles, these chemical weapons, the nuclear program that he is fast accelerating in Iraq, that these do not pose a threat in the aftermath of the crisis, assuming he gets out of Kuwait. This is an issue for the entire international community.
When you found out there were no weapons of mass destruction, can you bring me to that moment? Did someone walk in and say, we've stopped looking, they're not there? How did that happen?
It just kind of was, it evolved. The fact that there wasn't weapons evolved. I mean, when we first got in there, started looking around and didn't find anything, you get that kind of sinking feeling that, uh-oh. And then time went on, and then we got tips, I'll never forget the tip that there was crates buried, hidden in the Euphrates River. So they found, maybe these are them, and they sent frogmen, and there was nothing there. And so, and then, of course, George Tenet had the inspectors go back in, or David Kay and Dulfer, and that pretty well was a period at the end of the sentence there. And I felt terrible about it. And on the other hand, those reports did point out that Saddam Hussein was very dangerous, that he had the capacity to make weapons. And I'm convinced that if he were in power today, the world would be a lot worse off.
One of the things I think that I thought about at the time, and I wonder if you did, and you talk...
I was a kid when George Bush was president, man. It's crazy looking back. You can. It's hard to remember all these things, but that's the Lord doing all of this, man. George, 43rd president, president of the United States from 2001 to 2009. Damn. Wow. And you thought Bush, man, you never knew what the hell he was talking about, man. He spoke with, the way his speeches were, man, it was impossible to understand what he was saying. But now we can look back on it and see that he spoke with a forked tongue too. They were all in cahoots with the same thing, man. And now that he's doing it, hey, Duck's gonna run the same play.
A lot in the book about Abu Ghraib and how outraged you were about that, about not finding WMD when you had a CIA director who said slam dunk.
No, he said slam dunk that the case, he didn't say slam dunk weapons. His point, just so you know, was that the case was a solid case. In other words, presenting the case would be a solid case to the people.
A solid case that there were WMD.
Right, but the evidence showed that he had WMD. I'm not,
right.
I mean, we're splitting hairs,
right.
But sorry.
Now look at them. And they're doing the same shit now. Let's see what Doug Sepp was saying there.
Now, you can take it any way you want, and it took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, it took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It took him 5 days before his people told him what to say, and he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
Okay. All right. Governor Bush.
Say anything to get a vote, man. And don't get me wrong, you know, it's the Lord who does all this, man. He's the one who's controlling everybody to think that he might have thought he was doing something good, but hey, the Lord's will is going to be done down here, man. All right, but it's the same thing that they're running back. Just like there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. Let's grab that. In Ecclesiastes. I think it's 1 and 9. It says, in the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved, but in his adversity, even a friend would depart. It's lucky. Why am I still? Okay. I don't think I didn't switch it. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. And we can see that, and he's doing it faster now. It's almost like he just did it yesterday, and now he's doing it again. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It had been already of old time, which was before us. Okay, so there's still it's kind of twofold, because you don't really remember your past. It's kind of going into reincarnation too. There's no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. Okay, so but if you could receive it. Now, of course, we know Esau doesn't teach that, but Esau this ain't his book. Okay? You don't know what he's talking about. He's a carnal man. All right? And if you can't prove reincarnation, even though the Bible talks about, there's plenty of precepts, but that's not what the lesson's about. Okay? Let me see, how am I doing with time? What else is going on? Trump says he's a hunter or something like that. Let's see if I can find that video. Yeah.
What gave you the idea to do this?
I've had it for a long time. The first time I had it, but you guys were after me. I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference.
What gave you the idea?
You see? Now he's the hunter. Okay, Trump declared that the hunters have become the hunted. The tides have shifted. He was once the prey, but now he holds the advantage. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. And Esau, this is the same thing that's going to happen to Jake. Okay? Because ultimately, you are the prey. Okay? Let's go grab that. Genesis 49 and 8. Judah, thou art whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down and couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up. We was just watching how Israel just sent Operation Rising Lion. Okay, but Judah's being roused up, man. Okay, which is you so-called African Americans. Okay, he said he will raise up wake up the tents of Judah first, or save the tents of Judah first. That's where this wisdom came from first. Okay, rising up Judah, and the other tribes are starting to come into. This is how the word got out. Okay, and the Lord's rousing them up by creating these situations in the earth to make Judah get this word. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Okay, so that's prophecy being fulfilled by you so-called African Americans coming back into the truth, which already came as Abba Bivens and the elders at Great Millstone. They go into that. But the point was in verse 9 is Judah is a lion's whelp, which is a young lion, from the prey, which is these heathen nations that are gone up. You ain't trying to fight anymore. Okay? You stoop down, you couch as a lion. And as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? So you don't even want to fight the enemy. A lion's not supposed to be afraid of a goat. And the goat's the one who's ruling. It's backwards. Okay? And Esau said he's a hunter. Okay? He is a hunter, just like his forefather Esau. Genesis 25 and Slovakia. Genesis 25, and I want to get to the point. Genesis 25 and verse 27. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So Esau was a cunning hunter. Okay? Let's look at this word, cunning. I think it goes under subtle. Let's look at it. Skillful in knowledge, to be known. Obviously, hence perceived to acquire knowledge, to know, to be acquainted. It includes the action of knowing both as commencing. And it brings you to Genesis 3. That's the spirit. Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? So this is Esau, man. The fall of man. And he gonna fall again, man. He gonna fall again, because that serpent was an actual person, and that's the spirit that was in that serpent is the spirit that's in Esau. Okay, Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Okay, so he sold his birthright fair and square. Okay, and he crying for it, but you're not gonna get it back because it's not yours to begin with. Romans 9:9, for this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to the election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. So it was by election. Okay, this is the Lord's will. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, and it was written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So the Most High hates Esau, Edom. He doesn't love everybody. Okay, Malachi. And we just read Esau was a cunning hunter. And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Malachi 1, verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I love Jacob. So Paul in Romans is quoting Malachi 1 and 2 and 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So his kingdom's going to be destroyed, okay, and given to these dragons of the wilderness, which are these, I want to see what it says, but it's desert creatures. You read Isaiah the 3rd chapter, Isaiah the 13th chapter. Jackals, sea monsters. Let's see what it says. Okay, it doesn't tell you, but we know it's talking about those desert creatures because this is going to be a desert. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So indignation is righteous anger, so they deserve the destruction that's coming to them. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel. Okay? That's where he's going to be magnified from. Okay? Not over here, all that God bless America bullshit. No, he's going to be magnified from the borders of Israel. Hebrews 11 and 18, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Actually, hold on. Hebrews 11 and 17, by faith Abram, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Okay, so from Abraham to Isaac, accounting that God was able to raise him up, even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. By faith Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. Okay, so you can be confused by Hebrews 11 and 20. But Isaac did bless, he blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. But Esau's blessing was the sword, okay, fatness of the earth and everything. But Jacob's blessing was the elder shall serve the younger, and the everything, and plenty of corn and wine. Okay. So you gotta know that. You gotta know what your blessing is, man. It don't go to Esau, even though he sought it carefully with tears. Book of Genesis 27 and verse 2. And he said, behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison. Yeah, Esau, go get me something to eat, and make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. So this is what Esau was sent to do. I'm gonna jump down Genesis 27 and 18. And he came unto his father and said, my father. And he said, here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. So Jacob robbed him. Okay, this is, you read about it. Genesis 27 and 30. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. Okay, yeah, you were hunted, now you're the hunter. Yeah, you still Esau. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, who? Where is he that hath taken venison, and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. So this is talking about Jacob. Okay? Jacob went and got him. But back to Esau's blessing. Genesis 27:41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, her son, told to Rebekah, and she went and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. Okay, so Esau was mad about the blessing. Okay, but he ran into Jake after this, man. Okay, so, the more you go into it, you learn that he's always had a perpetual hatred for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Genesis 32:3, and Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. So this is after the blessing in Genesis 27th chapter. He went to Laban, okay, got some wives, and then what? He was going to return. Genesis 33:1, and Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah, and unto Rachel, and unto the 2 handmaids. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed over before them, and bowed himself to the ground 7 times, until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and they wept. So he didn't even attack him, even though he met him with 400 men. Okay? And who was Esau, you might ask? It's the so-called white man. Genesis chapter 36 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Okay? Genesis 36:8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. So this is why Jacob sent messengers over there to Mount Seir, because Esau dwells in Mount Seir. Okay? Genesis 36:9. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. Just like Jacob is the father of the Israelites in Israel. Okay? Genesis 36:43. Duke Migdal, Duke Aram, these be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations, and the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. So we know now who they are. Back in Genesis 49, and it's not just Jake, man. Genesis 49, you read this, and you'll know who is who. Genesis 49 and verse 18. I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. And that's talking about you Native Americans. Okay, you're going to overcome him. He overcame you, but you shall overcome at the last. Why? Because Obadiah said so. Obadiah, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Okay, cut off, erased. In that day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. Yeah, when Babylon was taken down, Esau participated in the fall of you. Okay, so this is before 70 AD. Okay, this is we read in Genesis that Esau kissed him and embraced him, and they wept. So why is he doing this now? Obadiah 1, and this is his descendants, 1 and 12. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Yeah, they were rooting them on. You read Psalms 137. Okay? Race it. Okay? Obadiah 1 and 13, thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. So you even robbed us back then. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. Yeah, so people who escaped from the Babylonians, they ran into Esau. Okay? Just like it says in, what's that, Amos? It's going to be the same thing. 5, somewhere in there, 5 and 19 and I was just 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion. Okay, that's like the Babylonians and a bear met him. Okay, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Then that's what Esau, the damn serpent. Okay. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Jacob strolls the same way. Okay, Obadiah 1:15, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. That's Esau. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. So we're going to take your land. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, which is the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, and the house of Esau for stubble, Esau Edom. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord have spoken it. Okay, so same thing. Same thing. You're going to have to pay for what you did, man. Okay? Esau is that cunning hunter, man. Okay? You're a cunning hunter. Just like he said.
What gave you the idea to do this?
I said I had to focus. I was the hunted, and now I'm the hunter. It's a big difference. Big difference.
What gave you the idea?
You see? There's a big difference. But the same thing's going to happen with Jake. Jeremiah 16. In verse 16, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. So that's the same thing, man. All right? The same thing. The Lord's going to do the same thing. Genesis chapter 10. In verse 8, and Cush begot Nimrod, he began to be a mighty one in the earth, just like Esau. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. In the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Iraq, and Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. So just like Esau's the king of Babylon, hey, that's what Nimrod was in Babel. Okay, let's look at this word Nimrod. Okay, Genesis 10 and 9. He's doing the same thing, man. Mighty hunter. Like a damn Hamite, man. Okay, Nimrod, rebellion, or the valiant. The son of Cush, grandson of Ham, and great-grandson of Noah, a mighty hunter. He established an empire in the area of Babylon and Assyria, okay? And that's what Esau did in this time, okay? Just like he's the modern-day Babylon, he's the modern-day king of Babylon, according to Isaiah, the 14th chapter, okay? What's that? Genesis 21, Isaac is born, Sarah turns against Hagar, let me see, 21:19, God opened her eyes and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the bottle with water and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt. Okay, so talking about Isaac. Oh no, this is Ishmael. Okay. As a matter of fact, hold on. Let me double check Genesis 21 and 20. Genesis 21, I don't know this one, and 20. Ishmael's development after his mother Hagar and he were sent away by Abraham. It highlights God's presence and protection over Ishmael as he matured into adulthood and became skilled in archery. So you're gonna be destroyed, man. Okay? Ishmael was skilled in archery. Okay? And the modern day archer are those who have thermonuclear missiles, man. Let's grab that. Did I spell that right? No. Bend the bow. And that's what the Persians are, man. Well, they mix Elam and Ishmael. Okay. Even though, what's his name? Ted Cruz didn't know that. Okay. Let me read these. What time is it? I got a little more time to play. Jeremiah 46:9. Come up, ye horses, and rage, ye chariots, and let the mighty men come forth. The Ethiopians and the Libyans that handle the shield, and the Lydians that handle and bend the bow. Jeremiah 50:14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord. So Ishmael, those Persians right now, like I said, they're Muslims, so they mix with Elam and Ishmael. But we know, according to 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, they're going to remember their nature, man. Okay? And that's why they're going to be part of those who shoot nukes on Babylon. Jeremiah 50:29, call together the archers against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she have been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. So the Lord's going to give them permission, these heathen nations. Psalms 11:2, for lo, the wicked bend their bow. They make ready their arrow upon the string, that they may privily shoot at the upright in heart. And that's Esau coming up against us, man. Okay? And how he bends the bow at us is his laws. He writes these unrighteous decrees. He does a lot, man, he oppresses. Jeremiah 9:3, and they bend their tongues like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. They proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, saith the Lord. Jeremiah 51:3, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth up himself in his brigadine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. And that's talking about these other heathen nations, with Russia being the head, according to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. Okay, so that's what's gonna come to this place, man. Okay. Got a couple more minutes. All right. Yeah. Destruction, man. It said Jacob was a plain man. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God. So same, just like Jacob. Okay. In Genesis 25:27. Let's grab that again. You look up that word plain. Okay. Perfect, undefiled, plain, upright, just like Noah. Okay. Morally innocent, having integrity. Okay. Ethically pure. Okay. Nothing like Esau. Upright. Okay. Job 1:1, there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. So Jake was being called the same thing. Job 1:8, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil? That's right. Even Job. Okay. Song of Solomon 5:2, I sleep, but my heart waketh. It is the voice of my beloved that knocketh, saying, open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled. For my head is filled with dew, and my locks with the drops of the night. So this is Jake being plain, man. Undefiled, man. Okay? But Esau, he's the opposite. All right? He ain't right. He ain't right, man. Let's grab this in the book of Genesis 28. Verse 10, and Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran, and he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows and lay down in that place to sleep. So look at that, man. He even took a stone to lay on the ground. And the elder went in today on his Tuesday class saying that stone is Yahweh Shai. Okay? The stone is Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, you know, plain, man, you don't need much. We got Yahweh Shai, man. Nah, shit. Now Jake's good now. Jake is good. He got what he needs. He got that stone to lay his head, and that's Yahweh Shai, and now we're good. Genesis 31 and 39. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it, of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was in the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times. See, Jake can deal with a lot, man. Okay. Okay, he can deal with a lot, man. That's being plain, man. You know, but now we're not dealing with it anymore, man. Now it's time to stand up for Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Genesis 41 and 42. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely thou hadst sent me away now empty. God hath seen mine affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. But I'm going to end it right there. Lord's will, that was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem, Rachah Kodash. Shalom.